Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here with another episode of Redo of Healer. So, anyways, last episode, debut episode, seemed quite tame, honestly. And I've said all wanted to say about that. As having already read through some of the earlier chapters and all that, and being really impacted by it. Let's just say I don't want to say impressed because that maybe gives a too positive of a connotation with things, but definitely it left a lasting impression on me, right? And with that in mind, the first episode, I do feel like they kind of toned things down a lot, not just by a little, a lot, unless I'm misremembering things or perhaps the producers are just choosing to put the juicy stuff, right, the really controversial stuff, and get the nitty gritty details and whatnot into the second episode, like this episode, and maybe the other episodes as well. Well, we shall see once we get to the end of this episode whether or not they are going to truly explain all of what happened to Kearu, our main character, in the past, and also, what kind of actions he's going to do to get his revenge. Because, well, this is definitely a case where both sides are going to be very viewed in very negative lights, whichever way you spin it, right? But, that's what actually makes this series interesting for me. So with that being said, let's just get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Look, dude, if you are going to have this warning sign, you better bring out the actual details, the actual nuts and bolts. I do think this is the first go through. Oh no, actually, no. This is the second. Yeah, this is the second go through. All right. Just disinfecting. The healer ruins Princess Flay. Again, before they get into all that, though, they need to show us what happened in the past. That's what you didn't do. Look at all that. Look at that censorship. Ugh! But then I kind of get it, right? I mean, I certainly hope for you guys' sake that, you know, the version that you guys are watching is not censored. And yes, everything, you know, just to go through it. He was basically raped, used, beaten up, etc., etc. Ouch. Yes, they are showing it. Like, honestly, what Flair did makes, you know, I don't know what I can't remember. What's mine's name again? Ah, it doesn't matter. I don't want to keep going back to Shield Hero, but yeah. So, you know, what I want to get through here, once again, is that this is everything that happened to him the first time. However, he's willingly submitting himself through the exact same things for the second time. Getting abused, getting raped, experiencing all these things. Just for the sake of getting revenge. That is how twisted this is. He's build up resistance. Nothing. This is one crazy dude, guys. Okay. So I guess the reason why I thought that they toned it down is because I read through the earlier chapters way too quickly. I guess chronologically, it should be, you know, at this point. Look at the censorship. Alright. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to go watch the uncensored version, but I already know, you know, all of this and whatnot, so it doesn't matter for me. Eh. Once again, he willingly suffered through all of this once again, just to get his revenge. Ah. And he's just like, let's do it once again. See, this is the reason why I said you really need to, go through his entire. See, even in this, I kind of feel like they went through, everything that he suffered really, really quickly. In fact, I actually still remember a few different scenes that. I know I'm watching this with a worried grin on me, but see, this is the reason why originally I was like, oh, how in the world are they actually choosing to animate this out of everything and actually making it, one of the mainstream anime? Okay, what is this slow pan here? Do we really need this? I get it, I get it. Well, you guys are certainly saving on the budget, aren't you? So I'm guessing the uncensored version would be more hentai. It's definitely something that this was a series which I definitely felt like. Well, it's hard to say, right? That's. Yeah, they really are just. See, this is. This is what I don't understand, though. Like, if you are going to make it into more of a hentai, then make it more of a hentai. But why not just. I don't know. To me, I always feel like. Sorry, not always feel. I just feel like if you wanted to make this series, you should have concentrated a little bit more on, what Kiaru went through more than anything else. Oh, this is the most, and you guys who are watching for the first time must be like, huh? But isn't this just over now? Well, about that. Right, and then that was just the prologue. Now, this is why I said, don't go around hating Flare too quick, though. You know, you gotta hate her, but you can't completely hate her. That's the most, that's the most ironic thing about all this. Kayaga. He changed his name as well. Kind of title drop, right? Redo, healer. There should be some more after the ending here. So what did you guys think? I mean, I'll go through a bit more at the end here. And this, I'm guessing that this episode is also when most people will be dropping it. Sorry, because I don't really want to talk about anything until after this. Oh no, alright. They're actually going to just... okay. I guess I should have, just cut it out. Anyways, I'll see you guys after this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why viewers' discretion is advised. So, I presume that those who can't stomach this have already left already. Hey, good for you. No judgment or anything. Those who stayed, well, let's talk about this, right? So once again, I am not an entirely blind viewer of this. I have already read through the first few chapters, quite a while ago already. So I guess I did misremember some things, and this was actually supposed to happen in episode 2 all along. I guess normally when I read things, I go for it a little bit too fast, so it seemed much more earlier to me. But in any case, even with that being said, though, I still feel like we didn't really go through the entirety of what Kyaruga went through, right? No, again, this might be me misremembering things, but this is why I kept on saying in the last episode that we need to be shown the entirety of what he went through and, all the pain and suffering that he endured in order for us to be able to watch through the later parts. And what do I mean by this? When I say I don't think they actually showed enough yet. So again, I might be misremembering, but, one thing that left a very long-lasting impression on me is that when I was reading through this initial story, this initial portion of what Kyarugu went through and so on and so forth, by the time we got to his revenge against Princess Flare, I actually felt no sympathy, absolutely zero sympathy for Flare at all, right? Including like breaking her fingers one by one, giving her torture, eventually raping her and whatnot. I actually did not feel any ounce of sympathy for her because because I could totally, feel through, like, everything that Kyarugu went through, and I can totally understand how, the deepness of the hatred that was set within him, in order for him to do such things, right? And that's why I think it's so important that we are shown, everything that he's went through, and you really need to build that up. In fact, I do have to say that for this episode, I feel like the balance was a little off, right? We weren't really shown enough or detailed. I mean, it's not the detailed or whatnot, it's just that the screen time, let's just say, didn't really have a good, there wasn't really a good balance here. I feel like everything went by a little bit too fast to, to the revenge part, whereas, originally, as I remember it, we really got through the nitty-gritty and stuff, and to the end there. But, the thing that I keep on saying, and the thing that impressed me the most out of this, this particular prologue portion, if you will, is, just how insane that Kyarugu is. And I'm not saying insane in how he, eventually, did those things to Princess Flare and so on and so forth. I'm talking about willingly. Well, so going back to past, that's one thing, right? You say you want to go for the past and then redo everything and so on and so forth. That's one thing, right? You want to get your revenge and all that. But no, Kyarugu actually, willingly went through everything once again. This is the second time that he went through this sort of torture, this sort of this sort of defilement and etc., etc., just for the sake of getting his revenge, right? So you can totally see that this is completely a broken and insane person here. And if I'm being honest here, that's why I'm getting entertainment from this series, just to see like how much of a madman this guy actually is. And then, the very end there, I would have never thought that this would be the development, right? Not killing off Princess Flare, but instead, totally brainwashing her, wiping her memories, and, basically, it's now just your normal run-of-the-mill adventure anime and fantasy anime, right? You have the main protagonist with OP powers, and then you get all the, you gotta get your party together, depending on which kind of fantasy adventure anime that you're talking about, maybe this is more of a harem anime and so on and so forth. But basically, it just continues on with nothing had ever happened here. Although, of course, we absolutely understand that things have happened because Kyarugu is not going to change anytime soon, right? So that, to me, is the most twisted and perverted part about all this, and that no, he's getting his revenge, but in this sort of fashion, right? So we're not, I mean, I guess the easiest ways to look about this is to consider the Flare, consider this Flare to be a totally different person, right? Otherwise, you are going to always have this reminder within you that, hey, this is the Flare that did all the things to Kyaruga, but now we're actually supposed to love her. She's supposed to be like a waifu material, right? And that's just the ironic thing about all this. And again, in the future, he isn't done with his revenge yet, right? He said as much at the end there, and I can safely tell you guys that things are more or less the same. Like, this is the standard that we already have. What Kyaruga did to Flare, we can assume the same for the rest of the revenges as well. Now, putting aside this particular story for a moment, one thing that I am quite intrigued by is, again, how big this series actually got, this work actually got, and also the fact that it got an anime adaptation, right? Because it's really peculiar to me, and I'm undoubtedly there's going to be some people saying, hey, why didn't you just make this into a hentai and whatnot? But see, the difference here is that hentai, and a lot of those visual novels and whatnot, the purpose of those are to provide you the sex scenes. The plot is secondary. This plot is just there to drive the sex scenes. That's not the case with Redo of Healer. Redo of Healer actually has its own main plot. It is, at its core, still a genuine fantasy adventure work. It's just that it has these elements of sex scenes and revenge and so on and so forth, these sort of twisted happenings within it. That's the main thing about this. And like, maybe I haven't, read enough, but I find this to be actually really, really rare among Japanese light novels. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. Maybe the ones that do eventually reach me have already been filtered, and not that many people recommend those other kinds of more 18+ R-rated light novels. But to me, because I do read a lot of Chinese web novels as well, and I can say that there are a ton more web novels and those that are eventually serialized into light novels, and I can say that there are a ton more of works coming out from Chinese writers that are in this sort of fantasy vein that do feature a complete world building and plot and mechanics and all that, and yet they do put this R-rated stuff in there as well. Whereas in Japan, it's kind of all the light novels that I go through. I do find it to be vastly. I do find the pool to be vastly smaller, right? So maybe some of you guys who are more well informed about all this can give me some pointers or whatnot if this is actually true, or no, you're gonna be like, no, Maverick, you don't know what you're talking about. There's all this others as well, but like, that's why I feel that this series was so so impactful when it came out, because it definitely did make a lot of waves within the Japanese light novel scene. And so it is kind of like a difference here, right? And this is stuff that I normally expect from lots and lots of Chinese web novels and light novels, not really so much for the Japanese kind. But anyways, the point of all of this is just to say that this is a really peculiar work, honestly, and it is actually still a fully fledged adventure fantasy series, and it's not just a hentai sort of masquerading as an adventure anime. No, it's the other way around. It happens to feature elements of this within it. So, anyways, that's it for this episode, and once again, well, what do you guys think, right? I mean, at this point, I'm still going to continue watching on for at least a little bit. I mean, it's kind of... yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to, right? Like I said, it does still have a main plot there. To be honest, I was just really curious how they were going to animate it, were they going to properly adapt it, and so on and so forth. So at this point, I mean, even though I still do have some complaints, it's got the point across, right? So I don't know, but once again, if I do find that it turns out to be providing a bit more of the fan service portions, just because maybe I'll say that this is not exactly the best adaptation and whatnot, but at this point, well, we'll just have to continue to watch on, right? Anyways, that's it for episode 2 of Redo of Healer. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.